Yes, happy Sunday night, champ fans. Good evening. Duggan in the hot seat, what feels like forever. Shout out to Kitchen Dan for stepping in on Wednesday night when we had a little poorly mini Doug to look after. And I'm delighted to say that on this Sunday evening we have what I could probably only describe as champ royalty. He is the winner of Super League season 10, I'm going to say. 10, Steve? 9? I don't know. 10, I think. And also, more importantly, the winner of the first and last Alfred Bridge World Cup, which probably gives away who it is because there's only one person who could even do that. And it is Mr. Steve Wright. Steve, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, cheers for joining us, mate. I haven't had other than the opening night with Kitchen Dan. I haven't had anyone join us on comms, which probably says more about me. To be fair, mate, I'm getting the old vibes from people. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. No, I just think it's nice to jump on and try and give it a little bit more, a bit more chat about it rather than you just flying through it. Obviously, I know we'll try and fly through it the same amount of time, but yeah it's a bit.
I'm only messing, man. I know what it's like, mate. This isn't about people having to make any more effort than they need to, man. It's I was messing. What did you think of the football today?
Yeah, too bad. Both sides absolutely bottling it after. To be fair, it felt a little bit in terms of Man City going top yesterday and teams bottling it. It seems there's a lot of bottling going on at our level underneath the Premier League as well. So, it's one of them. It's coming at crunch time, and I'm really, really don't know what's going to happen in our league. Man City going to win Premier League out there now. Liverpool for me will finish second, personally, but that's my opinion. Might not be the opinion of many others, but
must apologise to Savage there for having forgot that he made an appearance on comms. Apologies, mate. Look, you might have seen the ticker at the start. I said for weeks that it was inevitable because of the sheer fact that you just cannot sustain the level and the pace of football that you were playing with, essentially what are kids for Liverpool in certain positions, but it's just unsustainable, mate. And City are just a machine, and I think, I don't just say this with me Liverpool bias, although, like, you're absolutely right if you say you're fucking lying. But I think for the greater good of football, you cannot have teams like Everton and Nottingham Forest getting shafted with points deductions and City doing what they've been doing, mate. It's just it's really hard to love football at the minute, mate. I know it's slightly different for you as a Leeds fan.
It's not really, mate. If you look at it, you look at Forest, you look at Everton, you look at Leicester coming down. All them teams that finished above us cheated as well. So, it sort of slightly affects us. And you know what? We're not doing ourselves any favours where we're playing at the minute as well. It is. I find football a struggle to enjoy as much as I used to do as well, mate.
Yeah.
Genuinely do.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, at the age of kind of like 16, 17, 18, I was your typical kind of Twitter gobshite, thought Liverpool were the best team in the world, all that sort of stuff. And you kind of grow up and you just think, what the fuck? There's some kind of comments in there that are echoing that, Alex, in there with that it is so hard to love football at the minute. Rob Sloth naturally has the day of Everton Forest wrong. You wouldn't expect anything else. Thinks it's a Saturday, probably turns up for the fucking game on the Saturday and he'll be told it's a Sunday. Tato makes a really good point. 90th goals have saved them because those class youngsters. Yeah, but mate, we're playing against the most dominant, most expensive, most comprehensive from front to back Man City side, well, Premier League side ever created. And you're playing definitely Connor Bradley, and God bless him, he's fucking busting the gut. But you just can't expect it. Tato there again. I'm falling out of love with top level footy and my club at the minute. Yeah, absolutely. I think. Yeah,
well, I mean, like I say, it's same with, like I say, I know it's different levels, but it's same with us, and we've got. I think it averages out. We've got the second youngest average age side in league, and the fact that we've had players that have done massiveness over years. Rutter, to be fair, and then he got an injury in the head hernia operation, and he's struggling. People have learned to put 3 men on him, and he'll struggle to get out of it. Get 2 men on him, and he'll turn him left, right, and centre. But he's only 20-year-old, 21-year-old, so he's got. But yeah, it is. I genuinely, if it's not Leeds, I watch little bits and bats because Oliver is full into it. Leeds lad Adam loves everything that's on, and I watch bits and bats. But yeah, it's. I mean, when I was younger, I could have give you every squad number for every Premier League club. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now,
match of the day religiously on a Saturday night, match of the day too on a Sunday, match of the day on a Sunday morning. Proper. Yeah, absolutely. Crazy, Alex just saying there, he never thought I would. He had a season ticket at Leicester for 27 years. And this year, he stopped going to every game. That is massive. And Tato just saying, the little int is just keep coming downstairs. Tato will keep it towards the back end. I think, Steve, if it's all right with you, mate, I think there's plenty to chat about tonight. I think we'll kind of get your thoughts on comms about the All-Star Atlantic League and maybe do a little bit of a Super League season review. Congratulations to Tato for winning his first star, thoroughly deserved, and commiserations to Dimble, who kind of yet again just falls one short. But you know, if there's one manager who absolutely hasn't got anything left to prove, then it's him, despite not having had a star. But do you reckon we should just jump straight into it? We've been waffling a little bit there, mate.
Yeah, we're talking about the dynamics of we don't love proper football, but we love this, don't we?
We love this, yeah. And listen, this is like, you know, Dimble's on Pro Evo there, you just said, and you know, when you fall out of love with the world, you can still be in love with Champ, mate, and this is why we love this. Interestingly, tonight, for those of you that are maybe of either, you know, the likes of Alex, who's maybe came to this kind of 2 or 3 games in, tonight is the first repeat of the sequence of fixtures in the home leagues. So what I mean by that is, remember, we've got our 3 conferences. We've got our Western Conference, which Gators look solid at the top of at the moment, but this is very much the most competitive of the 3 divisions, I think. We've got the Eastern, where St. Domingo's Bisons have been on a bit of a crazy run, but also have just had a little bit of a dip in form. Sloths really pushed them until Rob went 3 up top on Wednesday night. And then we've also got the Central, which is the league where there's kind of almost a league within a league, really, where Dandies and El Loco, who've been probably 2 of the most experimental sides in the whole thing, really, for the first 5 games or so, have really lost a bit of headway on Alcatraz. So essentially, there are 32 league fixtures, and you play everybody in your home conference 4 times, I believe. And tonight is the first repeat of that sequence. So if you look at the Des Moines Demons, Mega Horses Des Moines Demons, they played the Gators game week 2 and got beat 3-1. They play them again tonight, and that's the same, I believe, for everybody across the league. So Steam Pig, Sloths. So we're almost seeing whether, you know, these results hold, or whether the transfers that people have done between game week 2 and what is now a game week 8/9 have actually had an impact. So Steve, we've got Domingos against Reigns tonight. We've got Vikings against Drivetrain, Dandies against Alcatraz, El Loco against Pelham, Gators against Des Moines, and Steam Pigs against Short Pumps. And yeah, Dimble, shout out to the Mariners as well. We're all Grimsby, aren't we? There's a few of us heading to Grimsby on Saturday for a massive clash against Swindon, and I think I'll be chucking 100 quid on Grimsby to win, mate, just for the crack. Steve, where would you like to start tonight, mate? I'll let you pick.
I mean, to be fair, obviously keep our game till back end. I haven't seen Robin as yet. I think in terms of competitiveness and where one team is and one team isn't, I think let's go Dandies Alcatraz to get our way early, because the game has been fantastic. And
Dandies Alcatraz. All right, lovely, excellent. So Alcatraz won this 2-0 and were very much, in control, unspectacular, but that's what kind of Alcatraz have kind of done lately. The Dandies since have made some pretty, if you look at what the Dandies played in that first game week, it was, it wasn't something that you'd maybe kind of expect. And we see Cafu come into MC tonight. And instead of the one up top, instead of the two up top, we go one up top with a tripod of back Constantinou and Sim Koviak. Let's see if Cafu can do a job in there as MC. Steve, what's your thoughts there?
Would you not rather have Cafu on right and Beckham sat in there, as positional wise? This formation, as we knew with Tato in various things that he's been involved with in terms of the small horse thing. It's a very good formation. In competitive champ, it can be quite difficult to get on top of, in fairness, I think. But if it starts getting on a roll and you've got players like Barry Ferguson there with that arrow, you've got Robin, you've got Beckham, like assist machines. Archie Back does wonders at times. And
I think looking back to the draft, where I did fall short a little bit was kind of the striker picks, really. Put all the eggs in one basket on a Constantinou season one, and we know that that's kind of a bit of a risk. He either flies or he stumbles, and that's how we go tonight. Over to Alcatraz, who've just made 2 changes. I believe Raul comes in for David Collins, and also Candaya Liveroni comes in for the injured Candaya. Alcatraz sit at the top of their group with 17 points from a possible 24. Having only dropped 7, which is phenomenal, and they are the best defensive team across the entire competition.
I was just about to say that 5 goals conceded is absolutely bonkers. And when everybody were testing, it were Max Driveturn that were conceding next to nothing. But Jamie, to be fair play to him, he's got back involved in the champ world in various guises, and he's got a good side together that just keeps getting results.
The irony is here, Steve. If you want to kind of test that little homage that you've paid to him, ask him who did this tactic file, mate. Ask him who did this tactic file, because he forgot to fucking send a tactic file in game week 1, and he's went as is ever since. So here we have Dandies and Alcatraz. What's your prediction here, Steve?
They're going to get beat at some point, aren't they? 2-1 Dandies.
2-1 Dandies, okay, and we will go Vikings next, Jens, providing you're not playing against the Bisons. We have some early pressure from the Dandies, but we know Alcatraz can absorb that. There is Michalis Constantinou, who doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. Manager's words about gambling on that striker just kind of holding true so far. Alcatraz now starting to come into it. Nedved's name being mentioned a lot. There is Emerton, and there is a double save from Chiotis that looked as though it was. Simkoviak shoots from distance, and again, just like the game in the second game week, very, very even. But Alcatraz did look to come into that just a little bit more towards the second half there. How's Cafu doing in that MC position? Not too bad, but not too great either. Jens Jeremy's doing what he has done for a long, long time in competitive champ and continues to be an absolute monster in DMC solo. Over to Alcatraz there, a couple of 8s from Asano and Dai and Vita Bayer. A Dragons favourite and a Dragons legend there, Vita Bayer. Absolute legend. What a pick he was from Woodha in that season where we finished 3rd. And just a load of 6s from that midfield, not really getting going. I'm going to take the sage advice of Steve Wright, and we're going to do a little Beckham and Cafu switch, and we're going to see if that does anything. Going to give Hopkins a couple of seconds or so. Saw him early doors, but I know it's kind of the time of the night where he has to start diving onto works calls and stuff. Anything you do there for Alcatraz, Steve?
Probably not. It looks like they've got a fair bit more in them with some good players, and Inzaghi, to be fair as well. Everyone was talking about him in Super League about being best ever for you lot, but he's started every bit as good with not knowing
if not better. Ratings. If not better. Yeah. If not better. I think the main thing that's standing out about this Inzaghi is he doesn't need as many chances to score as many goals. Yeah. It's kind of the thing with the Inzaghi that I've had. He seemed to kind of need 5 to score 1 or 6 to score 2. If the 55 minutes, and again more pressure from the Dandies, and there is Barry Ferguson on the rebounders account. It does. He very nearly got hooked at half time, but he does get a goal. It looked as though Back had a header. saved, and then the rebound was put in. Dimble will be looking on and hoping that this score holds true, because of course he is in second place in the division and chasing the Alcatraz boys. We're going to stay as is. Lawson 6 is a little bit of a worry.
Is that a Beckham assist since moving at central midfield?
Is it, Steve? Right? Have you spied that? Have you? Oh,
wait,
no.
It went up to an 8 since moving into central midfield. So that's just
maybe he's got the pre-assist. I don't know.
Yeah.
Over at the Alcatraz boys, again 6s from that midfielder, Davids, who's been so good for him so far. Really struggling there tonight. Potentially again, I think while we're just waiting for Hopkins, you kind of alluded to it pre-kickoff. I have always hated 4 across the middle. But the kind of dominance of the DMC heavy tactics in Super League, I think that 4 across the middle just naturally gives you a bit more of the ball and makes you a little bit more kind of not necessarily as passive. So you get kind of getting more of the ball. It definitely had an impact for Sankey at the back end of the season when we just crawled over the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the 4 across midfield, it's sort of obviously everybody plays 4 across DMC, DMLR, whatever, but it puts them on the back foot, having across the central midfield, in my opinion. So, I mean, again, we talk about it like it's like managerial masterclasses, doesn't it? But it makes sense that it puts more pressure on.
Yeah, and interestingly, Tato has went like a flat 4 for the first time in a while tonight. So that's interesting. Cafu there. Interestingly, Cafu again with another chance. Can the Dandies get the second goal? Constantinu hits the ball and then misses the rebound. Are they going to rue these chances? You feel as though they probably are. They've not really been good defensively all season. 87 minutes. Can they hang on here? Cafu again. Ferguson. Ball is cleared. Pressure from Alcatraz now. Here is Perez and there is Chiotis. He kicks it away and it goes straight out for the throw. And this would be a massive win for the Dandies. And the Dandies keep their early season alive with a win against a good Alcatraz side and looked on top for just about the majority of it, other than the 15 minutes between half an hour and half time, Steve.
Yeah, it seemed them stats see what we saw, and it sometimes when you're watching these games, they don't seem to be as you feel like you're on top. You got loads of chances. It doesn't, but that were definitely very Dandies heavy, and they kept us with a 9, but they're 3 shots on target. That's
it might have been that double save. I don't know. Might have been that double save.
Massive, great performance from your boys, and they've still got Klompe up to 9. Jeremy's obviously went down when we saw when he clicked on at 60 minutes, but just solid.
Who's got man of the match there, keeper?
He's got to have done it with that, definitely.
And wow, 61 passes tried, 7 out of 10 tackles. Potentially could have reads as if it could have been a bit more without him, to be honest. But that's why he's in there.
Oh, definitely.
Unlucky Hopkins, and that's a result that Dimble will be, licking his lips at, really, because it moves them within 3. We're gonna do Vikings next, because Jens said if we go Vikings next, I'll be around. If not, we will dot. The Vikings obviously unlucky in that semi-final in the Super League. Steve, this is how they go tonight. Obviously you're seeing Jens's semi-final defeat to Dimble, and what was your kind of thoughts on the Vikings at the back end of that season? Was it just momentum? Was it suspensions? What did you kind of put it down to, mate?
If I'm being totally honest, mate, I think it's finishing top. I think there's not been many people that have followed it through from finishing top, is there? But the tactic, since he changed to this tactic with Vikings, it served him massively well, and obviously it served him great so far in All Stars. I just genuinely think it were the algorithm, as we talk about. I don't believe too much in a lot of it's geared up for that, but I mean, there's only been a couple of people that won it from first in Super League, haven't there? So it's genuine. For me personally, we're in finishing top. If we finish second, I think he'd have a star against his name.
They go as is tonight with no changes, and why wouldn't they? Because they're in good form. Over to the Drivetrain boys, who did squeak past Dandies in extra time last time out, and again, and they've kind of done that a couple of times, haven't they? They've done that. Where is it? Where's the other saying again, but where was the other extra time? This one, yes. Yeah, so they've done it a couple of times, haven't they?
Three
Yeah,
times.
3 times. Yeah, I think that's the most of any team. And Savage does go back to what was a V2 tactic. So this is a tactic he's well, the file name is the same as used before, but I've actually kind of re-downloaded it from the email, so he'll probably be able to say if it's a instructional change. But this is how they go, trying to be really solid with that kind of 2-2 block of Scally and Giannichella, who come back in. Nesta, interestingly, still out. It looks to be a really long-term injury. Obviously, everybody's got the save, so I'm not doing anything that people wouldn't be able to see themselves. Knee ligaments, 10 days, still on a red. Bit of a worry that. What do you think of Savage's boys and the change to these kind of the kind of gap threes, I would call it?
Yeah, I think you look. There's a reason why they're being so solid. You got Scally and Giannichella. Not somebody I'd ever had on game before personally. And then you look at what he did for Al for a spell, and he did what he's done for Mike in Super League, and then he's got Juliano, who's done great bits. I think it's just got a very, very solid four there behind, which you have got some hit and miss midfielders there for me. Obviously, Bowyer, we've both been falling foul of Bowyer's. Yeah. Good times, bad times, haven't we? And you got Madovic, who probably is a right midfielder. He's probably up there with. I don't think you probably play too many people that are better, in fairness, as well, because you don't get a lot of our wingers in competitive champ. And then
certainly his backup, I would say, I brought him in.
I think he's great.
I brought him in Super League as a backup on the right hand side. And Mike Savage needs to tap me up for Cafu. I think we need to do something there. Predictions here, Steve, sorry.
Yeah, I can't see a drivetrain extra time again. 2-1 Vikings.
2-1 Vikings, and it's a hell of a lot of drivetrain early doors. Obviously, drivetrain's been getting some good numbers out of players who haven't necessarily done it that much. Rivaldo's been very, very good and kind of at the centre of everything good that Mike's done. We've had 27 minutes played straight away, and looks to be a little bit 50-50 now. Zanetti goes into the book, and free kicks for Vikings. Mackay, another free kick, and there is Imor. That's a big injury for Jens. He's been, he's been decent. He's not been spectacular, but he's been decent, and certainly the kind of the most creative force in that midfield. I haven't seen any chat come through for a while, and I don't know if that's just because me and you are chatting nonsense tonight, or if oh, there we go, Donny straight away from Jens. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because normally it'd be Petkov, wouldn't it? But the way Donny's started season,
he's been class, hasn't he?
Unbelievable.
3 goals, 1 assist, 1 man of the match, and an 8 rating. Arguably should be playing ahead of Imor if you went on form, and we get to half time as we kind of expect. 2 really solid sides just cancelling each other out there, Steve.
Yeah, it seems it. Very good defensive sides. Both got solid centre half, solid defensive midfielders, and something I'll give it at some point. Maybe asking for 3 goals were a little bit expectant on my part, but it probably seems like it's going to be 1 goal either way, does this?
Savage makes a really good point that the text actually seemed a hell of a lot busier than the stats indicate. Imor on a 0. Imor is dead. So for anybody that reads anything into that, he is absolutely dead as fuck there on a 0.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I've seen it once, I think. Imor just died. Jens is in there with an Imor just died. We go over to drivetrain. Jens, I've seen your changes there. He's going to move Donny up to Mackay to do 2 EMCs, both with an arrow and Emerson Central. So we'll get that done for you. Over to the drivetrain. Just 6s, 7s, couple of bookings, nothing really much happening. Savage has struggled to score goals. He's only scored 11, which I think is the 4th lowest across the league, but obviously he's been really solid defensively. Steve, just while we're waiting on Savage's changes, if I said to you, who do you think the most underrated player in Champ is? Who would you say? Like competitive Champ, not home save Champ.
Do you know what? I think probably Neil Scally, in fairness. I think obviously we know Martin's views on him. Probably Neil Scally.
I think that's a good shout. I was going to say Ibrahim Said, just based on based on me love for him. We get to 59 minutes. Someone's through on goal there, but it's saved. We're going to click play. Pause there. But he'd made every single one of his tackles there at half time.
Yeah, I saw that 6 from 6 one.
6 from 6, 7 out of 7 now. So we'll just jump back over to Vikings. And I didn't quite catch who the person was being through on goal with the chance, but it did draw a save, a big save. Conditions wise, Imor is dead, but everybody else is above 80% for Jens.
It's not even there. His condition's not even there.
Yeah, just deleted it from the game. Yeah, currently in resource getting defibbed. Over to the drivetrain. Booking still holds 7 6s. Rivaldo on an 8 again. I mentioned the point just pre-kickoff that he has, maybe not contributed as much goals, but he is one of those players for Savage that is in the text a lot. Matavikia on 77% might be a little bit of a concern. You could potentially, what would you do? You'd probably have to move kind of Boyer out there, wouldn't you, and bring someone into that MC position, drop Scholes back, and maybe Donovan or Zizi and go 2 up. But I'm sure Savage will know what he wants to do. Jens is going to go as is. Steve, how would you kind of reflect on Dudley's season in the Super League whilst we're waiting for Savage's changes?
I think we had a few highs, a lot of lows. It were really up and down season. In fairness, coming that last game of the season, there was no way we had far too much to do that last game of the season to get into 6 or reliant on too much else. I really, really, really shook it up a bit to try and change it up a little bit. But yeah, I just think it's get to a point where we start coming into his own for some stupid reason in a couple of seasons in. And I don't think we'll do much next season, but I think there's a win.
Massive goal, and he has been doing bits for Sancti in the Super League as well. There is I think Tato might have to hand how many goals he's been involved in, but Tato's a big fan of him. He's one of those players that makes things happen. I just think
that's down to Dan's effort that he's putting over. Looking back on every single season and putting back goal contributions in and that. And Owen is up there. He's up there without nobody really realising it.
Yeah. This would be a massive, massive win for the drivetrain without needing to go to extra time. Uliano scrambles it away. Desai, Vikings hold on to the ball. They've really struggled second half since Imor went off, really. And drivetrain just really clinical again. They're building a bit of a reputation for grinding out results, whether it be in extra time or whether it be in North. One of the rare occasions where I've backed a player and he's held through. Ibrahim Saeed, I think, is a top. He's a top 4, top 5 DMC, and I think he's criminally underrated in competitive champ.
Definitely.
Anything jumping out for you there, Steve?
You look at like Cannavaro and Ronnie Onson as well. They've done not far off what Saeed's done. So if you've got them two behind doing what he's doing better than, no wonder they've struggled to break him down.
Yeah, over to the drivetrain. I think Savage is a humble guy, and he'll kind of not want to celebrate too much there. But when you're beating teams like Vikings and your ratings don't look that great, then you take it and run every day of the week, don't you, mate?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you got Johnny Cheddar there that he's missed half his tackles, but it's one of them where it's a solid performance by what you got 1-6. I think if you've got 1-6 in your side, you're in with a chance of winning the game if you haven't conceded 2 or 3 goals bit time at all times. But yeah, it's a good ground out win. Yeah, again, they've got legs in them. I think that's what it is with drivetrain.
Scott, you're making the point that he doesn't think Saeed is underrated. I would probably say, Scott, that the vast majority of Super League managers wouldn't rate him as highly as certainly I do. Probably you, because I know you absolutely love him, Scott. But yeah, I think he's one that, should absolutely be starting every game, either centre half or DMC if you've got him in your side, because he just tackles for fun and he loves to score a pen. We're going to go with the Bisons now. Tato's give us the and also as highly as Dan Megahorse, who loves them but only with an arrow. The Bisons the Bisons who flew out of the blocks and then hit a little bit of a stumbling block. We're absolutely turned over by your boy, Steve. I don't know if you've mentioned that before. Yeah, absolutely. Nope. And then we're probably, I reckon second best for about 60 minutes. Then Rob went 3 up top, pissed. Tato held his nerve and kind of, he came out. And they are one of the early pace setters, with Gators. Tato was just asking if Zambrotta can have a contract. Brilliant. Yeah. Oh, sorry, nearly discipline him. He can have a contract, mate. I'd assume Dan had done it. No worries. And I'll make sure all of that's done for packs coming out. Your thoughts on this Bison side? Tato's move to 4 across the middle tonight, interestingly, Steve?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think obviously they're playing a similar tactic to what he does in Super League, and they've got the players to accommodate it. It's a strong side, regardless. Obviously, after I drafted him, we did a big deal with Mendieta going that way. Tomasi in central midfield, I think you will look at get a consistent 7 rating out of him. Then all of a sudden you get 8+ out of him at back. But yeah, it's a formation that he's done well with before as well and tested with. I just think as good as Mendieta is, I just think he's lacking a little bit in that central midfield areas for it to be as effective if them two will pull back.
Interesting. I was just while you were doing that little bit of analysis. I was just looking. So we've had drivetrains against Vikings in that league conference reverse. So the kind of form held true. Drivetrain won the first game. They win the second game. We've obviously seen Dandies win against Alcatraz, who won the first game. And then Memphis Reigns were beaten comprehensively by Bisons in their first meet. Obviously, we know Rocks is away from the champ world at the minute, and we're just kind of taking this side over for him coming back. Love to you, Rocks, mate. Sending you all the best as always. So they do roll with this kind of atypical Rocks formation to try and get something out of this game and get some form going. Predictions, yes, Steve?
Yeah, probably a 2 or 3 goal St. goal win, but there's just some myths that can turn it on if they want in that Memphis team. Yeah,
if someone must score there, I think it was a Crespo must score, but didn't, and Memphis Reigns will probably live to regret that chance. Was that a 2-footer? Someone went in with 2 feet on Mickey Laney. Domingos Bisons are definitely having the rub of the green at the minute. They should be 1 down and also probably down to 10 men. And there is Simeone. It can only be that man. But there is Pierre. It can only be Simeone after all of the hype that Tato has given him over the last few weeks. 2 minutes added on time. Can Reigns get a second? And they do. Christian Vieri. They find themselves 2-0 up. And what a turn up for the books this would be, Steve.
I mean, they're getting twatted again, aren't they? It shows us playing players out of position where they probably do more damage. Shows, but yeah, massive for Rocks is this, considering he started the season, and it just shows that the St. Domingo team can be there to be got at.
It hasn't showed in that match report there, but I've definitely seen Mickey Laney going into the book. He went in with 2 feet. Seen that absolutely, and Tato just saying that serves me right for playing a different formation. And you look straight away, Nicky Butt is struggling to do anything there really, which is absolutely bizarre because he stayed as that lone DMC. You'd expect, if anything, the 2 MCs to have suffered really. And Memphis Reigns, it's really hard to analyse Rox's performances because you never know where the fucking players are. Crespo, so. The left winger, whose name I really struggle with, he's one of the rare champ names that I struggle with. Christian Vieri doing bits though, and an assist for Juan Gomez. So you reckon Tato's going to drop the 2 MCs back here?
No, because he's got to kind of carry on and go for it now. And he's pulling us one at back, and you're 1 down. You've really got to go for it, haven't you?
Well, he's made a liar of you. Move them 2 MCs backwards. Arrows on them.
Yeah.
No more formations, no permanent personnel changes. Just remember, Tato, as well, you can change your team instructions if you do so wish. Mega Horse, whose eye is really, really good, has said it definitely was 2 feet. And there is Pierre. He moves back to the 3 DMCs, and they're back in the game. 48 minutes played, 62 minutes played. There is Giggs. Every time Giggs' name is mentioned, you just worry a little bit for this Montero solo number 9 effort at the back. We have a little bit of a look at conditions. Steve, I'm going to make you the Memphis Reigns manager tonight, honorarily. What would you like to do?
I mean, you can't do anything really, can you? Looking at you've got 1-6 in there. I know
Michelini for Melito and 2 centre halves, maybe. That's the only thing I'm thinking as kind of the pressure comes from the Bisons.
But it's not Rocks to try and shore it up, is it? It's to keep going at it.
Saviola, AMC, 2 up top. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll let you have a think. I'll let you have a think before Tato decides what he's doing. Again, Rossini on a 6, Pagliuca on a 6. Other than the Steam Pigs victory, this is probably the worst we've seen Bisons be. Although they did stutter against the Sloths until Rob Sloth changed it up. So we'll Steve swap the players. Steve saying that. I had to think twice about what he meant by that there. That would be a very Rocks thing to do, I imagine. Yeah, fuck it. I'm 2-1 up, just move them all into their original positions. Anything you want to do with Rox's?
Yeah. No, man, I think you've got to keep it as is. It's got to be on
okay. Yeah, okay. And we'll wait to see what would this do for their division. It would keep the drivetrain of leapfrog Domingos Bisons, and it would put them top. And it would just keep the Reigns in the mix. Extend my winger arrows all the way, please, Doug. Bronco for Hussein. So the
Dario Hussein got a 4 in there.
Oh mate, can you believe that? That was like the least Dimble thing ever. He's had such a good run, like such an amazing run of getting numbers from strikers that nobody else would touch with a barge pole. And then in that like kind of key, like destiny awaits, and Dario Hussein does that to him. I'd never play him again. I'd be shipping him out. Honest to God. Take that season when Dragons finished bottom in that first season 7, and I wanted to get rid of Oliver Kahn. I was like, just release him, Hopkins. Just fucking release him. It's been absolutely dog shit. Oh, it's a penalty. And there is the keeper off. And it's Costanzo who's going to have to come on. We'll get rid of the worst performance striker, who is really hard to pick out. Saviola will bring off Steve, yeah?
Yeah, I'd have said Saviola. Get 2 big lumps still up there.
And we will see if Bisons again, Fausto Rostini does bring them back into it. It is the equaliser for the Bisons. Michelini arguably should have been sent off, and the keeper is now off. Nikiforenko, and Hussein clips the ball and goes over. Are we going to go to extra time, Steve? I think we need to make some changes for Rocks if it goes to extra time, mind. 5 minutes played. Zambrotta, is he going to take it out of his hands? Zambrotta, Mendieta, Dario Hussein, and there is 3-2. And the Bisons have done it again. From the jaws of victory, they snatch, or from the jaws of defeat, they snatch victory, rather. And the Memphis Reigns have really lost an opportunity here. Ortega, the tail of 2 keepers, and this is probably going to hold out. And Tato's probably never going to play 4 across. It's a penalty. And it's a yellow card for the keeper, I think. And there is Rossini, 2 pens. And this looks a radically different final score to what it looked like on 60 Minutes, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, looking at the stats, deserved. Mendieta gone back to DMC and got some. It's one of them, and it's hard to look from Rock's point of view, but
yeah,
it's. I think when you're playing one at back from the start of a game, you always run risk of conceding a fair few goals. Personally.
Yeah, and as we said at the start, Rocks has got other business to tend to at the minute, and that's probably, you saw one manager be really responsive to what the game engine was doing, and the actual changes that Tato made did absolutely get him the win, no doubt about it. And one manager who, unfortunately, for absolutely understandable reasons, and ones we're all respectful of, couldn't be here. Unlucky Rocks, mate. Your time will come once you get done with what you need to get done and come back in. Over to what we do now. Was there any other no early requests? We'll go with Kitchen Dan's now because I know he's away on a little bit of a holiday. So we'll get that done and dusted because Horse is in the chat. There's a debut to a player I've never seen in Champ before, Steve, and I'm guessing you will have.
Yeah, Adrian Elliott. Yeah, well, obviously with it being I didn't realise he was an FRC. To be fair, I thought he was an FC, but he can produce. Was it Valencia? He starts that. I think.
Yeah, good lad.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, he really. I know Dan likes him. I think he's tried bringing him in the Super League at times from our league. But yeah, it's he has credentials and he looks okay. Not somebody I've ever used, but
this is the division rematch, obviously, of game week 2, where the Gators beat Des Moines 3-1. But interestingly, I don't know if you just spied it there, this is the best home team in the conference against the best away team in the conference. And Dan has been on a really, really good run. They're unbeaten in 4 now. And as they say, if they were to win tonight, they would be flying high at the top of that table. Horse goes a rare as is. And that does follow on from a 1-1, 1-0 and a 1-0. A few streams ago, I think my last stream, I was kind of commenting that their form was a little bit up down. You know, lost 2, 1-1, lost 1. But they're actually undefeated in 3. And they've looked much more solid defensively over the last couple of weeks. Van Nistelrooy coming in has scored already. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, you take the arrows out, it's obviously same as what I'm playing at the minute. Dan's got his rings for doing it, and Johnny Elde has been an unknown quantity who's done very well for me. You got two goals in 7 games for an AMC. You get that. You struggle if you get that of any other AMC and any other competitive champion. You're happy with it, aren't you?
Big game for you here, mate.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I think it's still Gators are just solid. Dan's got a tactic that works for him, as we've seen in other variations of theirs. Mark Viduka just.
There was only ever going to be one player that was nailed on to score tonight, and that was Lou Viduka, Steve, wasn't
it? Yeah, definitely. Especially after he got rid of Van Nistelrooy to get Chiram in, and Viduka is his last pot of call. So.
Yeah, there was a big deal just before, probably 2 game weeks ago, where Van Nistelrooy went one way and Thuram went the other. And the Gators have been really in control of that first half there. The text kind of reflected it. They should have had a penalty, or they had a penalty claim rather as well. But the referee said play on. I don't know where that is. But anyway, here's the stats. Dan is tuned in. Good to see you, Dan. Hope you're well, mate, and hope you're enjoying your little bit. I don't know if it was a holiday. I can't really remember, but yeah, as is from Dan. Over to the other Dan. Question from Alex. Steve, did he have a clause in his contract at Leeds where, if fit, he had to play? I'm guessing that relates to.
Yeah, I don't think so. We bought him from Celtic. It was a big signing for us at the time, and I mean, to be fair, he used to be. He was our out best striker at that point. Obviously, he played up with Alan Smith, who were running around like a lunatic, but technical ability wise, goal scoring wise, we were our best striker. So
yeah,
I can't see that being
hell of a player.
But then again, when you got Peter Risdale organising contracts, anything were possible.
Yeah, play to 60 from Dan. Viduka is synonymous with one of my favourite non-Liverpool sides, and it was like, you remember the Middlesbrough side of like when they won the League Cup and had the mad run in Europe.
Jimmy Hasselbank up front with him.
Hasselbank, Viduka, Macaroni, unbelievable. Downing. Mendet, I was there for a bit. Yeah, just class.
Good side.
Yeah, and playing like good football as well. Over at the Demons first because they are behind. Nothing really much happened between 45 to 60. And the Mega Horse just suffering with a case of the 6s there tonight. So you probably see some changes. I reckon the Arrows maybe off the front 2 and probably Shearer for one of them. Potentially an Armbrook. Go on.
Just seeing Alex there saying, remember his hat trick against Arsenal? Yeah, but
yeah,
I think it was more his 4 against Liverpool, which is which like more from a Leeds fan point of view, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That last goal, that little dink over for that last goal, just extremely good footballer.
I think there's only 2 players that have ever scored 4 against Liverpool, and I was there live for both. And Paducah was one of them. Do you know the other?
I don't, mate, no.
Arshavin. Do you remember for Arsenal at Anfield when he scored 4?
Bloody hell. Was that in League Cup?
No, it was in the league.
Oh, in
league. I think
it
was in the league. Yeah, I think it was in the league. He scored, and every goal was a decent finish as well. From 4-4, that finished.
I remember. I just 4-4 game. For some reason, I assumed that would I had League Cup game in me for that. So I don't know why.
Dyer off for Volodenkov. Exteberia to DMR. Van Nistelrooy right striker, no arrow. Bouma left striker. That is a typically Horse change. Horse, you haven't specified no arrow on Bouma, so I'm going to keep the arrow on Bouma, mate, unless you say otherwise in the next couple of seconds, my man.
I'm going to assume that's his way forward, I'm sure. He's very particular, is Dan?
Absolutely. Brilliant. And there is a thanks, sir, lovely. And we'll see a little bit of a bad result for you. This, if it holds true, Steve, it would mean that Gators would be 6 points ahead of you at the top of the table there and looking very, very good. Hoffland goes into the book, and there is a goal from the free kick. I think it was Wilfred Bouma, direct from the free kick. Van Nistelrooy hits the ball. The changes have had an impact for the Demons. Vieira goes into the book. We get to 94 minutes. Van Nistelrooy goes into the book, and all of a sudden, this game is just absolutely spiced up in the last 15 minutes or so. 1 shot on target, no match report available. Is that because it's extra time? Is that what it does when it goes to extra time?
It must be, mate. It's got to be the only reason. Is that, mate? I've never seen that.
Bizarre. This game keeps surprising us 20 years later, mate. Over to Didier Gat doing bits, is he? Yeah, on a 9.
He's played 13 passes, made 8 of them. He's tackled a few pieces, but he's
done nothing else.
Yeah.
Is he on some sort of mad runs or anything? Interceptions. He's made 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Been fouled twice, 2 interceptions. There is Mega Horse. Of course, he knows there's no match report if it's going to extra time. I never knew that. And over to the Demons with a flurry of yellow cards there towards the end. Van Nistelrooy, Vieira, and Exteberia all going into the book. Dan just making the 1 change with Illy coming off for Munitis. No arrows or anything there for him. And we will go over to the Des Moines Demons and see what they want to do. In terms of next season, Super League, Steve, Martin coming in, a hell of a lot of transfers. I think you'd said there was 116 transfers had been submitted to him.
And that before I'd even set mine into him, in fairness.
Was it? Yeah.
I've gone a little bit wild, if I'm honest. Just trying to, because this formation I'm playing now, obviously, will I be bit, I guess, 3-1. I thought, there's a bit of legs in it. And obviously, it's been doing me well since changed to it in this league. So I'm sort of at the point of playing that. I've let some big players go. I've got some. I'm basically putting me on Mark Kerr, in fairness. Tested him loads, didn't save, saving everybody's tactics. And he did every bit as well for me as Joe Cole has done for me. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. It is what it is, isn't it? It's just happy to be involved. It's one of them, and I'm not being awful big-headed or when I say it's when you've got to start. It's just enjoying it. You know what I mean? So at least
I imagine it. Then... Yeah, I imagine it does take a hell of a lot of pressure off you. I imagine it does. What's go on?
It's sort of hard to be as proper up for it and proper as I used to be. Cutting socks and this that and other as I used to do. Genuinely, it does because.
We had a disallowed golden goal. Don't think we've seen that this season so far. They're on with the winner, but the offside flag went up and it's half time and extra time. We are naturally not going to do any changes at half time because it's extra time. And Dan Megahorse has exercised his right to go direct passing. Again, no match report, so we'll roll on. But disallowed golden goal, I think it's the first time we've seen it today.
Yeah, I think every golden goal's been given on it, and that's the
another yellow card. Fine's going to be coming for the players here. Veron with a chance, Toldo with a chance, and we do get a 1-1 draw. Good result for the Steam Pigs, and actually, to be fair to the Des Moines Demons, they look very much second best for the vast majority of 50 odd 60 minutes until Wilfred Bama put in that free kick, and then looked a hell of a lot better after Dan Megahorse had worked his change magic, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at that as well, like Carlos with a 9 and Dunno, too spectacular. It shows there's a lot of defensive effort gone in by a lot of them, and then you've got Estebrilla with an 8, which is not a player I overly like, in fairness. But it's a good result for Des Moines, and I think it's let's say it does help us a little bit. But when you get a result, if we're going to take advantage of it.
We're going to go to El Loco Fire against Pelham, which, if there ever was to be a kind of a bookies dead cert, if Champ ever went the way you think the form book would go, you'd probably expect this. Pelham have been very, very good in their Central Conference division, with a chance to really close the gap to a point on Alcatraz tonight if they were to win. And the El Loco Fire are still working for their first win, although Scotty has been going for a kind of very experimental approach, which is definitely one of the most interesting approaches in the league, and he deserves a hell of a lot of credit for it. Into tonight, Luis Figo has ended his relationship with Mike Savage, and immediately upon arriving to the Pelham Pumas, is not happy about the sale of Owen. So Figo came in on more or less the same day that Owen got sold, and Figo is just pissed off already, which is really, really funny, I think.
There's not worse than that, is there, when you've got a player going out, player coming in's fuming that player going out's gone.
Well, especially because Dimble would have thought long and hard about taking a chance on Figo, and then actually he would have went, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And then actually within a second, he's straight away regret. Well, not necessarily regretting it, but going, what the fuck have I done? But yeah, he's stats wise, Figo looks absolutely incredible. Oh, cheers, Dimble. Dimble with a little bit of praise there for us, saying enjoy listening, boys. Great combo on comms. That's very nice. You'll be able to hear us all day and all night on Saturday, bud. Which you'll probably not be liking that at the back end of the evening. Savage feels pretty guilty. Figo guilt, we'll call that. He says, I feel guilty about Figo. Over to the El Loco Fire, who have kind of gradually moved towards a more solid, conventional formation. But definitely that idea of kind of youth is, let's just have a little look. That idea of youth is really, really present in the squad. They've only got 2 players over the age of 30, and the rest are, what you'd probably class as champ young guns. Without doubt, the youngest average, age in the entire league, without even needing to do any maths. And the 2 30-year-olds do not start, I don't believe.
No, they were both not in the team.
Yeah, so not in the team. So actually, his oldest player tonight is a 29-year-old, and that's his keeper, which kind of tells you the approach he's going. Will there come a point where Scott kind of just has to keep ticking along with something a little bit more conventional, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, it'll click at some point with him. As we know, he's been a thorn inside of it. He was definitely a thorn inside of my Dudley Hill side, a lot of Bostock. But yeah, I agree with he's been a bit experimental, and I think it says it's testimony to where he thinks his save's going to go and how long it's going to be in. Try to get some players in early that'll come good in a couple of seasons' time.
Yeah, Rio Ferdinand was into the book really early on, and given that Scott really hasn't been happy with him at all, that'll be a slight concern. Felt as though it was very much 50-50, but again, like the Drivetrain Vikings first half, probably the text gave an impression that there was more chances created than the match stats. We go over to the El Loco Fire first of all. Christian Zanoni, Steve, who I know we've both kind of spoke about as being a DMR option in the Super League before. Did you have him at Dudley Hill for a while in a save?
No, mate. He was brought in by Scott at Bostock during one save. He looked unreal. To be fair, he can be very good, but it's definitely a season too early for him to be really contributing as he could. But his stats look very, very good for season one as well, though. To be fair,
I just always think his tackling always puts me off. We had him at Dragons for a bit as a backup to Cafu. Never really did it when he came in. I always think he's tackling for a DMR, given how good some of the wingers are in the league, is a little bit of an off put. But I do like him on a home save. I think he's class on a home save. Develops really, really quickly. Over to the Pelham Pumas, we've got the defensive players really struggling to get hold of the ball there. The CC Hupia and Kaladze not with anything to shout home about, and Johan Vogel, who is the standout there with Emmanuel Petit on a 9. Dimble and Scott both go as is.
I think it's probably got Petit and Vogel just shutting everything out for his centre halves. So that's probably why they're having to do up.
2 big chances there for a local fire, and there is a chance from Rafael van der Vaart, one of the youngest players in this starting 11, who does put the local fire. And that would have been a massive goal. That would have been absolutely massive. The local fire have never been 2-0 up all season. And it feels as though Dimble is going to have to make some pretty significant changes. And look at that jump in ratings there between 45 minutes and 60. We went from a spate of 6s to 8s and 7s. Have this local fire team turned up, Steve?
I mean, it very much looks like it, doesn't it? You look at like the side, and you've got, I mean, Liam Pure with a massive thing for Scott Bostock as well. And personally, I'd have probably said before game, if we were talking, I'd have been more putting Van Bronckhorst instead of midfield and starting Tudor outside of him. But he's got, there's something about Van der Vaart. He's amazing on home save. There's something about competitive champ where he's just not good. But it's nice when he does do it. I think Tato got a massive 8 games out of him at Boothstown as well. And then it just filtered out. But on face of it, it's a very solid side that can cause problems.
Yeah, questions to be asked at Dimble here, but if there's somebody who can definitely make changes, he did it against Sancte in that minor semi where he was 2-0 down, made changes and pulled himself back into the game. Figo on a 7 first game, missed every one of his tackles. But again, Vogel and Petit, who were shutting everything down, are still doing it for you. Tato just making a point there that this is Scott Bostock. Yeah, absolutely. This 2-7-1 was synonymous with him in 7, 8, 9 of Super League, and they were always good for goals. That's definitely something that I associated with that Bostock side. Dragons and Bostock used to have some absolute humdinger matches. And Dimble with a massive shout saying going to keep the faith with no change. He's obviously just got a Castolo penalty to score on Pro Evo, and that is the second goal of the game for Van der Vaart. And El Loco Fire, after 9 game weeks, are going to find themselves with their first win of the season, and the kids are all right. Kaladze with a chance now. Kluivert, Ronaldinho being in there with a chance. Jacques with another chance. 88 minutes played. Can Rafael van der Vaart get a hat-trick? The final whistle, and you know what? I'm sure Dimble will not begrudge him that at all, given how his season's gone, but massive credit to Scott. He's got his first win with a clean sheet against a very, very good Pelham side, and Rafael van der Vaart has got man of the match day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it had to be, didn't it, after them 2 goals. And do you know what? I'd love to see Van der Vaart in any stretch of competitive champ really put his. I mean, he looks okay as well for 19.
He doesn't look great there either, does he? Doesn't look great there either. There's not many passing. Passing's usually kind of upwards of 17, 18 this early. Go on.
I think I'm just might get in his DMs. So.
Best of luck with that, mate. Best of luck with that after that. Vogel and Petit do maintain to be the standouts, and actually the more that game went on, it wasn't necessarily that they were shutting everything down, it was just that they were extremely busy in that first half and couldn't really hold back the flood. Dimble has got what seems to be another quiet Ronaldinho, although he scored 4. I'll take that back. I didn't realise he'd scored 4. But certainly he's Super League Ronaldinho has been a little bit quiet, hasn't he?
Definitely. When I downloaded it save earlier, I clicked on Ronaldinho, and I think his stats look quite quiet for the Ronaldinho as well. It's like
you'd still chuck everything at him, though, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course.
If Dimble said in the group WhatsApp tonight, I'm fucking sick of Ronaldinho. Best offer gets him, you would be chucking the kitchen sink to get him.
Yeah, but we can't because we've done 3 deals already. This stupid
Oh,
rules
well,
of four
I would have to.
deals.
I would have to do that then. I'd have to chuck everything at him. Unlucky Dimple, what that does do to the Central is does make it look a little bit more competitive. And with Dandies and El Loco both winning tonight against the form book, but you'd imagine it's just temporary blips for Alcatraz and Pelham, who are two very, very good sides. We get to the last game of the evening, and it is your Steam Pigs against the Short Pump Sloths. We'll go over to the Sloths first of all, who've lost 2. And there's Rob Sloth. I'll have him Dims straight away in there for Ronaldinho. Hasn't said anything else for the whole stream other than hello, and he found a chocolate Easter egg at the start. As soon as there's talk of Ronaldinho being available, Rob Sloth is erect. And this is how they go tonight, with Guerrero and D'Alessandro coming in for Alan Smith and Deco, if I remember. Yep. Mpenza, who we talk about quiet players, who's only just come in. He was very, very quiet for you, and then hasn't quite got off the mark for the Short Pump Sloths. Talk us through your side tonight, Steve. You've made a little switch with Ovaladze coming up from the reserves. Let's just check and see what the state of those contracts is. I will make sure that all unhappy players have got contracts offered as well, boys. By the time packs go out tomorrow, I might do them tonight, actually. Steve, talk us through your side. You're
borderline
in 5 now.
Our borderline Avaladze going to start. Our really borderline, but I just thought, after we won like pretty comprehensively as we did in Scott last week, I thought I couldn't do it. And then, but he can't make bench because Larson's had 1 start and a couple of sub appearances and done all right as well. So it was just sort of a as is and just try and roll. But thing is, when you've got your Shevchenko and you've got your Mpenza playing against former clubs, it's one of them where all could happen. I run through the game about 10 times, and there were varying results going on. So
yeah, absolutely. We get to the last game of the night. I'm not asking you for a prediction, Steve, because it's your team, but just for those of you that are watching managers wise, if there are any deals that you have done in the last kind of 48 hours or so, just drop us a WhatsApp, as I'm not aware of any pending transfers. I'll just check the spreadsheet after we've logged off, and there is Elbear and Con never saw it, and the Steam Pigs put themselves 1-0 up, and the Steam Pigs put them 2-0 up, and you cannot sit, and the Steam Pigs put them 3-0 up. Andriy Shevchenko with a brace inside half an hour. Sloths are falling apart again. Sloths, and Shevchenko nearly had a hat trick by half time, Steve, I think that's the most comprehensive as is you're ever going to put in a half-time submission.
Because I didn't put, if I'd have put over like John Bench, I might have brought him on for cool. But yeah, let's just roll a look at Contra.
He's a DMR, mate. He's not an MR, is he?
Nope. And he's going out from Dudley Hill. So,
is he? Who for?
Kieran Dyer.
Oh, that's a good deal. That's a good.
I mean, no, it's not a good deal at all.
Do you not? Is it a bad Dyer? Is it?
No, but it's Descartes, Comandini, and Contra for him. I just
what?
Lost my head. I lost my head. And just said,
fucking hell, Steve. Honestly, sometimes, mate, you're a fucking liability. I don't know how your missus trusts you with a bank card at times. Honestly,
Season 7 Dudley Hill just slinging out mad deals. That's
class. We go over to the Short Pump Sloths, and we've got a Gattuso 5, we've got an Mpenza 5, we've got a Roy Keane 5, and Rob Sloths. Well played, Steve. Good game at half time.
He didn't score an hat-trick against me, didn't Shevchenko?
No, he scored a hat-trick against me.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Scoring a hat-trick against the team you've scored a hat-trick for at this early in the stage would be interesting. So, saying, if you scored a hat-trick against the team you scored one for, it's all right, mate. It's a Sunday night. It's late. We're going as is for Steve, and I mean, Rob's. It's going to be an 8-0 if Rob Sloth does his three up top. So, Rob, I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds there, mate, and then go. Steve, I can put you on the spot for your Super League top 6 next season, knowing as you probably do a pretty good understanding of the deals. You're always abreast with most things Super League. Who would be your top 6 at this stage?
Yeah, if I'm honest, mate, I've been a little bit more detached from it than I used to be. But probably yourselves, Dimble, Edwards, obviously. Obviously Tato.
So there's 4. Is that 4 straight away?
That's 4, yeah.
Lifeline for short pump slots has turned some 5s into 6s there, and then Penza pulls them back into the game. Rob Sloth might just have a think.
I'd say whoever takes Vikings, or if they're sensible with them, they'll get in there. And then us, yeah.
Yeah, you got to back yourself, mate, haven't you? Got to back yourself. Otherwise, why are you playing?
Right.
I don't think whoever comes into Vikings will be sensible, because I think it's really hard to get your first gig. It'll probably be someone with their first gig.
There's no worse when you come into Super League. Like you love your champ players, you love your favourite players, and you just go for them, and then you realise they're not great in Super League.
We've all been there, mate, haven't we? It is it is lesson number 1 of Super League, isn't it?
I'll tell you what.
Are you making any changes?
Yeah, I'll do Nakata Zanoni just to make sure I don't get sent off, mate, please.
Nakata for Zanoni. So you've went. So who's your top 6 there next season? You've went Badgers, Cosmos, Burn, Sancte, Vikings, Dudley.
Devo.
Yeah. Shevchenko injured. Steve. Larson straight swap.
Yeah, Larson. I'm gonna be really wrong and put Chadwick up front, but I won't do that. So.
Savage saying Martin's going to vet every transfer for the new managers. There is 4-1. Henrik Larsson. Contras, crosses are causing havoc, said the commentary. And that is not what... Steve, Alex has said, what about the unicorns? Bearing in mind we're after the watershed, so say what you want about unicorns.
It depends who's managing him, Alex. If Mr.
Yeah, I was just about to say the biggest challenge you've got are unicorns is the manager.
Yeah.
The manager. When Smutters on the stream for the final, starting the final with, I don't know if I can be arsed, and it depends if I can get a tactic in, and he's already written the season off in his head. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want the embarrassment of last season. That's what that is.
I'll tell you what. Has there been many teams in any competitive champ that scored 10 goals in 2 games? I don't think there is.
I tell you what, you did in Alf Bridges World Cup, though, didn't you?
No, I beat Dimble 1-0. I sort of scraped past him in semi-final, and then I beat Odgie Spain.
I'm messing. You just said I'll give you 20 quid if you get me Alf Bridge World Cup winning twice in the stream, and that was the second time. Really, really comprehensive from the Steam Pigs. Contras balls are causing havoc. Where is it?
Something
Contrast crosses have
my
caused
players
no
and balls,
end of trouble. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you maybe regret that decision. And what that does do is it does keep you in line with the Gators and the short pump sloths, who started off really, really well this season, are on a little bit of a downward spiral. That brings us really nicely just over an hour inside the classifies, and the St. Domingo's Bisons came from 2-0 down at around about half time to win 4-2 with 2 Rossini penalties. Drivetrain ground out another 1-0 kind of close win, which they're building a bit of a reputation for, with Mike Alone getting the winner. The Dandies turned their early season woes around with a bit of vengeance at home to Alcatraz. Barry Ferguson, who has been very, very good, I think, this early on, 3 goals inside 9 games, is a rarity for an MC, I think, Steve. And a local standout performance of the night, Rafael van der Vaart, Scotty getting his first win of the All-Star League. Well done to him for keeping his head. And then the Gators and Des Moines played out a really entertaining ones each from about 60-minute onwards, when Dan McGraw had worked his substitution magic. And then lastly, but by no means least, the Sloths getting absolutely pumped by the Pigs, getting absolutely pig-fucked, in contrast with a man-of-the-match performance, and Shevchenko with a brace. Leaves the league tables looking like this. The Bisons are still above in the Eastern Conference, 2 points above Drivetrain, with Vikings not far behind on 15. And the Memphis Reigns, with a manager on garden leave at the moment, is struggling, but he should be back in the coming days, I would imagine. Over at the Central Conference, which has tightened up tonight for the first time this season, with Dandies and a Logo Fire winning, which does shorten the gap between Pelham and the bottom two, and also Pelham and the well, not Pelham because they've stayed on 13 points, but Dandies and Alcatraz. And then lastly, but by no means least, over to the Western Conference with the Gators continuing their good run of form on 17 points. The Steam Pigs, who look unstoppable at the moment, on to 16 points, and the Des Moines Demons and Short Pump Sloths not very far behind them on 14 and 9 points respectively. Brings us to Wednesday night, and we've got one of those dodgy old game weeks. So if any of the managers really have a spare evening this week ahead of Wednesday and wouldn't mind chucking on just a little quick four-handed show, I'm probably looking at the likes of Dimble, Tato, yourself, Steve. If Monday or Tuesday you could squeeze this in, then that would be appreciated. And it would mean that on Wednesday we'd have a full slate. So on whenever this is, could be Wednesday, but hopefully beforehand, we would have Alcatraz against the Domingos Bisons. Always a good game between Hopkins and Tato, Dandies against the Memphis Rains, Short Pump against the Vikings, Steam Pigs against Drivetrain, and then a full slate of fixtures which would follow the following game week. So we will try and squeeze this in on Monday or Tuesday. I'll get packs out now to try and make that happen. And we'll hopefully have a full round of fixtures on Wednesday night. Steve, mate, cheers for joining us tonight, mate.
No problem, mate.
I haven't swept Division 1 as Tuesday this week, right? So I suppose what I'm saying is if there's any all-star manager who could maybe put on 4 games for us tomorrow night, that would be very, very much appreciated, provided that the 4 managers involved can get teams in, or the 8 managers involved can get teams in. Steve, I haven't really been that bothered about comms this season. Savage had popped on, Dan had popped on, but it was quite nice doing it solo. But I've actually proper loved having you tonight, mate. So cheers for your company. It felt like old school Super League that tonight with the co-coms. So cheers, mate. I appreciate it.
No problem, mate. And then it's a little nod of a hat with slight little Super League chat as well. I think it's obviously deserved, but yeah.
The two things should be able to coexist, mate. Do you know what I mean? I think we're long past the fucking, long past the point of like competitive streams and all that kind of shit. And we're all in it for the same reasons, and we're a little bit older and a little bit wiser. But the two things should be able to coexist, mate. So yeah, cheers. Any final thoughts from you tonight, Steve, mate, before I log off?
No, mate. Great night. Plenty of action again. Plenty of goals. And let's make sure next I can't promise anything at all, but it'll be a very late decision if I could do that little thing tomorrow. It would be depending on what time I get on from work. But
we'll stick a message in the group and see if anyone can. And I'll get packs for the 8 managers out, and I'll get the save uploaded now just in case anybody can jump on. But Steve, it's been a pleasure having you, mate. Cheers for your time. Have a good week, and I'll see you on Saturday at Grimsby for some beers.
You fucking will. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Up the All Stars. See you in a bit, lad.
See you, mate.